literally couldn't work out how to go backwards then. So yes, it's Candlemas today, but we're also in the middle of our Shine series, which is part of the Philippians series we've been doing, following on from Christmas. So this one is going to have a little bit of both. We'll talk a little bit more about what Candlemas is later, but Zoe is going to kick us off with our reading from Philippians. You'll need to unmute yourself, Zoe.
I think I'm unmuted. Philippians 2, verses 12 to 18. Therefore, my loved ones, just as you always obey me, not just when I am present, but now even more while I am away, carry out your own salvation with fear and trembling. God is the one who enables you both to want and to actually live out his good purposes. Do everything without grumbling and arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure, innocent children of God, surrounded by people who are crooked and corrupt. Among these people, you shine like stars in the world, because you hold on to the word of life. This will allow me to say on the day of Christ that I haven't run for nothing or worked for nothing. But even if I am poured out like a drink offering upon the altar of service for your faith, I am glad. I'm glad with all of you. You should be glad about this in the same way. Be glad with me.
Thanks, Zoe. So, what is Candlemas? In Interwoven, we've celebrated Candlemas for the last few years, partly because it's one of my favourite festivals. It's not particularly that it's just that it is cold and it is dark, and it's nice to see some light at the end of the tunnel. So Candlemas is halfway between the middle of winter and the beginning of spring. It's the time when, in some churches, even now, traditionally they've done this, but a lot of churches still do it, in more traditional kind of denominations, they bring the candles into the church building to be blessed. So the candles are going to use the year in the services that are going to bring light to their prayers and their praise. They bring them into the church building and they are blessed. These candles are going to light up their services, they're going to light up the world. And that's where the word Candlemas comes from, because blessing the light. But it's also a time that we remember the visit of Mary and Joseph when they took Jesus as a baby to the temple, to be like when we have our children named, when we have them christened, it's kind of like that. They went to the temple to present their children to God, and that's part of what Candlemas is about. So we're going to have a story now about that time. So you're going to need to settle in and sit comfortably, and we will begin. So we have got the story of Grandma Anna. Oh, no, we haven't. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. We're going to Shining Star first. We're going to have a song. So hang on to the thought about Grandma Anna. She's coming in a little while. So I'm going to just stop sharing now so we can have our song, because Steve will need to share the video with you. There we go.
Shining star, come and guide our hearts. Shining star, come and guide our hearts. Shining star, ancient mystery as you bore all our misery. The hands that crafted worlds and stars chose the pain of human scars. You came to die the lowest death to show the human soul its worth. As you burst through the darkness, you raised the dead in all of earth. What a portrait of grace. You are magnificent, you are magnificent, you are my rescuer. You light the darkest night, you light the darkest night, you are the shining star. You are magnificent, you are magnificent, you are my rescuer. You light the darkest night, you light the darkest night, you are the shining star. Shining star, come and guide us. Shining star, come and guide our hearts. Shining star, come and guide our hearts. Shining star, come and guide our hearts.
So I hope you had a happy Christmas, but today it would be happy Candlemas. So now, if you are sitting comfortably and settling in, we will have our story about Candlemas, the Candlemas story about Great Grandma Anna, which we have specially read by our guest, Great Grandma Dorothy, which is quite hard to say, and I should have practiced in advance. So here we go. Hopefully it will come straight on us. Oh, do you know what I did? Let's try that again. Oh, okay.
Great Grandma Anna was unstoppable. Most great grannies, when they reach their 80s, are about ready to put their feet up, to take things a bit easier and let others do the rushing about and worrying. But not Anna. Nothing seemed too much trouble for Anna. She was unstoppable. She was as busy serving God and his people at 84 years old as she had been at 24. The temple in Jerusalem was the center of her life. It wasn't just the services where morning and evening, rain or shine. She was always there in the front row, singing and praying her heart out. But she was also there for all the routine temple jobs. She did the cleaning so well that no one ever had to use a dusty prayer book. She made the tea so well that no one ever went away thirsty. She welcomed people at the door so well that no one ever felt a stranger. She was always ready with a smile, a kind word for the lonely, or a special prayer for those in trouble. They called her the prophetess, and that was quite an honour in those days. Very few women in history have been given such a special title. Great-Grandma Anna was unstoppable, but Great-Grandma Anna had a special secret too. From time to time, she shared it with those who were ready to listen. You see, when she was praying, singing, welcoming, making tea, cleaning, and caring for others, she was also doing something else. She was on the lookout. She was waiting for God's promised rescuer, the one that God had said would come to sort out the mess of this world. She was sure she was going to meet him one day, although time was ticking on for Anna. It was a very ordinary morning when something most extraordinary happened. A young couple arrived with their 6-week-old baby for a special thank you service. Anna, as usual, was unstoppable, handing out the books, smiling to the worshippers, and welcoming new visitors. But when she saw the couple, and in particular this baby boy, she thought that there was something special about him. But what was it? By the time she went into the service to join with everyone for the celebration, she saw an amazing thing. The baby was no longer in the arms of his mother, but had been picked up by a friendly elderly man. She knew him because he often visited the temple. Younger than her, but even so, a granddad in his own right. But that wasn't the most remarkable thing. This granddad was singing, a singing granddad. For once, the unstoppable Anna was stopped in her tracks. Grandad Simeon, that was his name, was singing about the baby. Now I can go in peace, and my long waiting cease. God's rescuers come, a light for everyone. Anna gazed, open-mouthed. There had been something special about this baby. This was the one she'd been waiting for. God's special rescuer, God's special light to the world, a baby. Of course, how like God to take them all by surprise. Anna was so excited that she'd finally met the one she'd been waiting for, the baby Jesus. He was the light of the world. And of course, Anna could not contain herself. She told everyone about it. She told people who came to the temple doors. She told the people who drank her temple tea. She told the people she prayed with on the temple steps. She told the people with whom she cleaned the temple ornaments. Because of this great-grandma, lots of people got to hear about Jesus, the light of the world. Anna was unstoppable, and so, it turned out, was the light that was Jesus.
So that was our fantastic Dorothy reading us a fantastic story about Jesus, the light of the world. But the question or the instruction that we were given in our Bible passage that Zoe read at the beginning was to shine like stars. So my question was, how can we shine? It's quite dark at the minute. It's physically dark. Quite a lot of us are either going to work if we're able to go to work, if we're key workers, in the dark and coming home in the dark, or we are getting up in the dark, putting on our computers, working at our computers all the day when it's light, and then by the time we switch our computers off in the evening, it's dark again. We're a bit stuck in. We're a lot stuck in. I sometimes get very excited about getting outside. Going to Sainsbury's has become an exciting trip out. Putting the bins out is a reason to get dressed up. We're very much stuck in. People are getting quite grumpy, and even that for those that are going to work and school, it's a bit weird. So everybody needs some shine in their lives at the moment. So how can we do it? Great-grandma Anna and Grandpa Simeon shone by serving and waiting patiently and faithfully. Simeon shone by knowing who Jesus was and recognized. Simeon Sean is now the star of today's subtitles, sorry. So we're talking about shining and shone. There we go. They was just shining by, going through their everyday lives and looking for Jesus and praising God at every opportunity and serving the people at every opportunity. Mary and Joseph shone by following God's instructions and taking their little boy to the temple. Jesus shone by being the light of the world, which, to be fair, did give him a little bit of an advantage in the shining situation. But the Bible passage says that we are to shine like stars by not grumbling and arguing and living out God's good purposes. So what we could do with looking at in our breakout rooms today are what opportunities do we have to shine like stars, to not argue and not grumble and to live out God's good purposes. What might they look like in our lives, in our particular situations at the minute? So there's a couple of things we can do in the breakout rooms today. Hopefully you've all got your stars. I know Sheila's printed hers out. I printed mine out earlier. So I've actually done mine already. So I had the great glue stick famine in this house today, because I printed mine on paper because I'm not confident that the printer can take card, but I found my tiniest little glue stick and I did manage to glue it to card. So you have started off with an A4 sheet of paper with stars on. If you haven't printed that off, don't panic. You can just grab a piece of paper and cut out 3 stars. That is perfectly acceptable. So on one side, you can decorate them. Now, I haven't. I've stuck mine onto shiny silver card, which I was quite pleased to find, but I've also discovered it doesn't let you write on it very easily. So I need to get a pen that will stay on. So I need to get my Sharpie out. And then on the other side, it should say, don't know if you can see it on mine, it will say shine like stars. So, and then somewhere on there, so you can decorate yours a bit better than mine. And then I've stuck them together with some really awful twine. It was horrendous. I wouldn't recommend you using this like raffia stuff. It was a nightmare to thread through the holes. But if you've got something that you can use, some yarn or some string or some old bits of stuff that you might have had for Christmas wrapping, you can string them together like that. So on one side, decorate them. On the other side, write down as many things as your group can come up with about ways that you could shine in your everyday, ordinary, light carrying life this coming week. So there's that. Oh yeah, so on the back, write down all your ideas to shine. You might want to draw them if your writing's a bit dodgy or if you're just very artistic. I am not, so I will be doing the writing. And then the other things you can do while you're doing your stars is have a consider at the wondering question. So you might want to take a little snapshot of that. Who do you know that needs a little bit of light in their lives? That could be nearly everyone at the minute, but there might be some specific people that you know that are struggling, need a little bit of light. How could you be a light in their lives this week? And when can you set aside a bit of time perhaps to pray for that person or people? When can you set aside a bit of time just to think about them and think about how you could cheer them up? So there's that, but also please check while you're in your breakout rooms, check up on each other, check everybody's doing okay, and think about one another, because you know there's a chance, just a small one, that we might be struggling a little bit and need some light in our lives. So I think that's it. So Steve then is going to, put us into our breakout rooms. So have made your stars. Could you give them a wave so we can see them on the... Fantastic. A variety of shining stars. Some people might feel more shiny than others, but we can all shine like stars in the dark. Thank you. You can stop waving them about now. That's excellent. So hopefully you came up with some ideas. You've got your stars to remind you to shine this week. We did send out a little question that we were hoping people would send us some answers to. So we have got a little bit of a this time tomorrow video from the people who sent them in, but perhaps if you watch these ones, if you're not one of the people on the video, if you watch this and then perhaps over the week you could do a little video of yourself saying, oh, I've managed to shine, and then let us know how you've shone. And then you can put it on the WhatsApp group or the Interwoven Facebook page or something like that, or the Messenger group. We've got a few things on the go. We've also got a Twitter group, so you could upload them to Twitter if you're feeling brave. So what is following, and you'll notice that it's very, very high-tech graphics. I'm open for consultation if you feel that you'd like that for your business. Let's have a look at what people are intending to do to shine.
I'm going to shine like a star tomorrow by smiling at everybody as it's my day off, even if I'm wearing a mask.
Okay, so tomorrow I will connect with families by phoning them. I'll connect with teaching staff and other professionals connected with St Paul's School, and I'll be encouraging, supporting and advising those families. I'll also shine as I pray with other people from Interwoven for different family and friends, and I may text or contact some of those people. Thank you.
I'm going to shine like a star by helping the young people that I work with.
Well, I don't know about shining this week, but having just completed an hour's worth of my rehab exercises, I think I can safely say that I'm glowing.
I'm hoping to shine tomorrow by sending some encouraging texts and little messages, perhaps with some Bible verses in them, to people who I know are struggling.
I'm going to shine like a star tomorrow by being encouraging, supportive and positive in a meeting I have planned.
Okay, so you can see some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. It would be lovely to see more videos just to encourage each other to shine in small and big ways. That would be great. We're going to have another song now, so it's going to be Burn Like a Star, and it's Rend again. So I'm going to stop sharing so Steve can share his screen.
your dreams. Come, my Lord, awaken holy fire. We are turning from our sin. We are praying once again. Come, my Lord, awaken holy fire. We are aching for the real thing. Hearts are open wide. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Yeah! Revival start in us. Set your holy spark in us. Send us out in resurrection power. History's about to change. We are rising once again. Send us out in resurrection power. We are aching for the thing. Hearts are open wide. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. For your glory, for your fame. In this darkness, light a flame in us. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. Burn like a star, light a fire in our hearts. For your glory, for your fame. In this darkness, light a flame in us.
Miriam, you're muted.
There we go. Sorry, I couldn't find out where to unmute myself then, because I'm sharing screen, it moves. No, I wasn't saying anything exciting, you didn't miss much. So we're gonna do, I don't know, Steve, am I highlighted at the moment? If you could highlight me, only because I know I've got this on, but we're going to have a prayer in a minute, and there will be some signing that if you want to, you can, there we go, you can join in with. So there will be a sign, it's Makaton, so it's not BSL, it's Makaton, and I am only at the very beginnings of it, so bear with me, it won't be perfect. So we can shine like a star and like Jesus. So
I've lost you on the screen, Mim. When you put you to shine, you've gone totally away.
Pin me, I think, if you want to.
Not on the iPad, no.
Right, I don't know how to fix that, Julie, I'm sorry. Yeah. But it will come up on the video in a minute, okay? So we'll be shining like a star and like Jesus. So when that bit comes up, which is towards the end of the prayer, it's only quite a short prayer, you can join in with that. Okay, so if you didn't see that, don't panic. There'll be a lovely picture of me doing the sign-in as we watch this. So let's pray. In the quiet, ask God to help you shine the light of Christ into the lives of others. Father, draw us close to Jesus, the light of the world. Help us to shine like stars in the darkness, to bring the light of Christ to others. Amen. Thank you for joining us for our Candlemas service. I'll stop sharing in a minute, and we will unmute people, so there'll be opportunities for chatting if you want to. So thanks for joining us. I'm just going to say a quick prayer as we finish. Lord, help us to shine like you shine. Help us to find opportunities to share your love with other people. Help us to be kind and to be thoughtful and to be loving. Amen. Okay, so you